Hey everybody, hope you're well. Today I was thinking about something earlier and I thought it's a great subject to talk about. It's about losing your authentic self. Now, if you've got a battle inside you where your heart says one thing and your mind says another, that means you've kind of lost in touch with your who you really are as an emotionally. Now, how that happens is obviously we have our authentic self where when we're born, we are born as a complete human being. Unless, you've got some kind of illness or you're born with an illness or something. And if that's not the case, most of us are born as complete human beings. And even people who are born with illnesses, you'll find out what some of the children who have autism or Down syndrome or anything, they were one of the most happiest children you will meet. And that's so that what I'm trying to say is most of us are born authentically. When we're born without when we're born, we are genuinely happy people. Okay, that happiness is actually already engraved within us. And but what happens as we get older and as we grow up, society, culture, religion drills things into us, expectations of us as individuals. And now, depending how you're being brought up, okay, some of those expectations or rules, as I call it doesn't sit with us, our authentic self, very well, because either we can't agree with it morally or psychologically, emotionally, and that's when the battle starts, okay? Because your mind is conditioned to think a certain way, while your heart and your soul and your authentic self knows better. Okay, now I struggled with this for a very, very long time in my life. And and I think studying psychology and doing a lot of studying into all sorts of faith and studying spirituality and science. And I'm not an expert, but I'm only sharing what I found and how I find peace within myself. Now, so you lose a bit of yourself as you're growing up. It doesn't happen in one go. It happens gradually, okay? We give up who we are as we grow older. And I think it all mainly starts in secondary school, because in primary school, we're more or less still figuring ourselves out. But when we get to secondary school, because secondary schools are made in such a way to to make us become robotic, to make people become systematic. So then they're preparing you for the corporate world, to go out there and work and earn a living and become a part of a society. Now, while that is happening and you're being conditioned, you end up losing certain parts of yourself. And it's not only the school that does it, religion does it, family does it, culture does it. There's so many things that is in place to remove us from our authentic self. Now, you might not even know that's happened to you, but if you've got that, battle within yourself where you just don't find peace and you're not at peace within yourself and you can't sit still, you can't be by yourself, you always need external stimulation, you always need people around you, you always need, an external high, that just shows that you're not in touch with your emotional and your authenticity. You're not in touch with your authentic self. Now, if you're fine with that, there's nothing to worry about. A lot of people say to me, well, how do you know what you are doing is right? And I said, no, I don't say what I'm saying or what I'm doing is right. All I'm doing is sharing my experience. And if anybody comes along, I didn't start all these channels and my company or anything on the basis that anybody is going to come to me. I had something to share, and I thought, you know what, if I could help one person, and I thought I would only probably get one person who this will make sense to. But I'm humbled by the amount of people that are contacting me and saying, you've changed my life. And these people I've never spoken to, I've done no work with, but just by the videos and the things I say, they understand themselves better. And that's all I want to do. I want to give people, because we all have it in us. We all have everything we need within us. And all I'm doing is sharing my experience. And by doing that, it's helping other people find the tools to connect to themselves. Now, so back to the subject in terms of as you're growing up and you lose parts of yourself, okay, so then you start having that battle within yourself where your mind says one thing and your heart says another, okay. The way to resolve that, okay, is by kind of going, digging deep within, okay, through meditation, through silence, complete silence. And it's not easy, okay? Do not think it's gonna happen overnight, over a week, over a month. It took me a good 4 or 5 years to completely figure myself out. Figure what went wrong, what particular time someone had said something and that made me feel a certain way, not worthy, not, intelligent, not whatever those feelings are. And what you do is you what I did anyway is I pinpointed those certain areas and I had to reconnect to those emotions, negative emotions, by the external input. Realize it and say to that situation that, you know what, you don't know me and you don't know what I'm capable of. And I let it go. And I'll tell you one thing, I have no bitterness against anybody or whoever said it, whoever done it. It's got nothing to do with them. Because humankind is of such nature, they can't help themselves. When people are being negative towards you, it's got nothing to do with you. It's how they feel themselves, how they feel about themselves, okay? But they portray it. They will lash out onto you because maybe the way I get this a lot, the way you are, my authenticity, being authentic, being real, being comfortable in my own skin, that really freaks a lot of people out. And, and I'm not saying they're just, these could be really highly qualified people with excellent jobs, really wealthy. Just because you have money, just because you have a career, just because you've got masters and PhD, it doesn't mean anybody else is better than anybody else. If you think about it, we're all just individuals, okay? We're all made from the same matter, but we are also unique in our own way, in our own individuality. And that's the beauty of life. That's the beauty of, this amazing world that we live in, that we're all a part of each other. We're all so similar, yet we're so unique. And to get to know each other on that level, on an individual, on each other's individuality level, is just absolutely beautiful. Now, anyway, so if you want to reconnect to yourself and find, not have that battle, meditate, go inside, go in within yourself. Start writing a diary. Start, I don't mean writing, just start writing your feelings. I've done this my whole life. I've always let out whatever I'm feeling on pieces of paper. If somebody made me upset or angry or whatever, I would write it down and I throw it away rather than say it to them, because it will make no difference. The only way you would make someone realize that what they're doing or saying is not, is hurting you, is just by letting them know that I want nothing to do with what you're saying to me. And I do this a lot with my own family, believe it or not. I think family are the worst in the sense that they have way too much expectations from us, and they try and put their expectations on us, where we're complete different people. And I think with me being the youngest, not everybody, there's just few people in my family that always think they have some kind of hold or right over me, and I have to fight it. I'm 35 and I still have to fight for my individuality, and not letting culture or society or religion shape who I am. I would look into it, I'll research it, I'll study it. And you know what? If there's a good point, and you know, if there's some benefit in it, I will listen. Of course, any of us, if something benefit us, we will follow it. We will listen to it. I'm not, you know, don't be ignorant and not listen to anybody. Listen to what others have to say. Go research it. If there's a valid point and you think it will benefit you, then you do it. If you think it's no use to you and it won't benefit you, you don't need to do it. Now, one thing I will say, some of us think we are free and we're free thinkers and we're liberated. Well, in fact, we're not. You know, we're more, those of us are probably more conditioned by society and culture, okay, than those who don't think they're free, okay? And I'll say why, because sometimes, like in this country, everything is said that we're free and we're this and we're that, and you know, freedom of speech and all that stuff. But when I start researching 5 years ago, I found that actually we're not free. Our media is so controlled, our life is so controlled. So anybody who hasn't traveled outside of UK and or mixed with different cultured people, different religion, different race, then you don't really have a broader mind of knowing what's out there, what kind of people are out there, what different faiths say, what different culture says. You know, faith and religion and culture and all of this stuff is so beautiful if you know how to look at it in a beautiful sense, and if you don't let it control you. Remember, when you were born, you were given a consciousness. Okay, and now even till this day, science has not been able to explain why we have been given consciousness. Only religion explains that. Only faith explains that you have been given, every single faith, Christianity, Islam, Judaism, Hinduism, they all say this: you have been given a choice to choose from right to wrong. And that's consciousness. That's consciousness. In scientific terms, that's consciousness. Now, use that. You haven't been given this life to just follow the herd, to follow everybody, to listen to other people. Use your own mind, your own brain, your own matter. Go out there. When I say out there, I don't mean you have to go out. You know, go on the net and mix with different people, different culture, different religion. Speak to them. Have an open mind. You know, and you see how beautiful the world is. You see how beautiful and how amazing people are. You know, everybody has a story. Everybody has a unique story that's absolutely wonderful to listen to, and it humbles you. And so, you know, mix with people. Learn about other people. Now, I've gone off track again, as always. Going back to discovering yourself again, as I said, start writing things down, even if it's on a scrap piece of paper. Meditate, go within yourself, research, study, look into different faith, look into psychology, look into science. It's amazing. You know, when they say knowledge is power, that is an understatement. Knowledge is, I don't know, there's no word to describe what knowledge is for us. It's freedom. It's liberating. It's everything. When you have knowledge, it's not even about other people. One thing I don't do is I don't debate with people. I have people who come to me and they want to have a debate, and they will, you know, they think through debate they're gonna do whatever, you know, achieve things. And I said, look, I don't debate. I don't believe in debates. Debates. It's about wrong and right. In my world, there is no wrong and right. It's about people learning from each other and finding what best suits them. Okay, and that's how I look at everything. Anyway, I hope this video has been useful. It's going to be the end of 2016, although, you know, time is actually irrelevant. You know, years, days, everything's irrelevant. But it's the way humankind works, I suppose. But anyway, have a wonderful day and take care, and I will speak to you and see you soon. Take care. Mwah.